Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Soccer Showdown. Martino Puccio, Gio Cozzolino, Serie A to recap and preview for this coming week since we're in Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. Juve obviously playing today against Barcelona in the Champions League. They went up 3-0 in the first leg. Paulo Dybala is playing today for Juve, which is a very big deal. He picked up a little bit of an ankle injury, I think. Yeah. Ankle or calf injury, very lower leg injury.
But he said he was
over
100%.
The weekend.
So
but he'll be fine. I trust him. He's a really good player. Huge news for Juve. Very, I guess, not so great news for Barca because it's going to be a very difficult game to come back from that. Okay, so anyways, for a recap, obviously we covered the Milan derby, how crazy a game that was. We talked about how Lazio and Atalanta didn't play that well or didn't gain any points on Milan after the draw. So going into the top three teams is what I really want to talk about because, I mean, Fiorentina slipped up, so it looks like they absolutely have no chance.
They're in 8th with 52.
So they're pretty much done.
I don't think they have any chance.
Napoli is only, you said, 2 points behind Roma for the second spot.
Roma with 72 and Napoli with 70.
Which is very important because I don't know if a lot of people know. I think the last team to win, because the third place isn't a guarantee into the Champions League. It's in the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure the last team to advance in the playoffs out of Serie A might have been Milan when they beat PSV a few years ago when Balotelli was still on
Roma
the team.
Choked last year.
Roma lost, and then you guys lost 1 year, I think.
Yes, we did, to Bilbao.
Yep. Yeah, see,
it's a rough time.
So no, it's been very difficult for Italian clubs to get out of that playoff, although I do think this is the year an Italian club does advance out of the playoffs because I think regardless if it's Roma or Napoli, I think both are, I don't know about Roma, maybe it might be better off, but definitely if Napoli ends up being third, it's not because I always record stuff with you. I still think Napoli is like the second best team in the league, and they've been dealing with injuries more so than most clubs. But anyways, how do you like Napoli's chances of catching Roma? Because they got a really good shot.
Yeah, I still do think they have a good shot. We played 32, so 6 games left in the season.
Have to win this week.
Let me just pull this up because obviously next week. Yes, we were talking right before this to preview the Napoli's game real quick.
Sassuolo.
We're visiting Sassuolo. It's an early game here.
Although they haven't been that sharp this year.
Yeah, they haven't been. It's not the same Sassuolo, obviously, as last year. However, we've talked about winning mentality and things like that, and Napoli is known for struggling against these smaller teams and
trap games.
Slipping up. Yeah, it's a trap game, and Sassuolo can get a result at home. I don't care what anyone says. They can hold us to 1-1, and they could beat us very well. So that's a big game. And then with Roma playing Pescara this week, it's a guaranteed 3 points for Roma. So we literally have to win. Otherwise, we fall back 4 or 5 points. In the matter of a week. Now, that's so important because next week not next week. Is it next week?
I think in 2 weeks is the really crazy week.
In 2 weeks, yes, because in 2 weeks, then it's going to be...
You play Inter?
We're going to play Inter.
Yeah.
And then, let me just check just to make sure. Yeah, we're going to play Inter the week after this. And then at some point, Roma plays both Milan and then Juve as well on the 14th of May. Yep. So even though it's a couple weeks away, looking down the line, if Napoli, don't win these results and don't pick up these 3 points, then second place is goodbye for them. You know what I mean?
It's goodbye. Yeah, I think it's still a top 3 lock.
Both teams, both Roma and Napoli, still have tough games, so it's not like Napoli, if they don't win all of them, you never know. Roma
prone to. I know you talk about Napoli messing up in trap games. Roma's prone to that too. Yeah, they've done that plenty.
Especially last year. This year, though, they keep winning. I mean, besides,
if healthy, I think Milan's going to draw Roma at home. I genuinely believe that.
I think so. They can beat Roma too.
They could beat Roma. I really don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Roma's going to go into the San Siro and beat them, where a lot of teams have had difficulty.
Not, and that's what people think, though. But just because of the position
Napoli caught them at a good time at the beginning of the season, where when they said Milik was healthy before he got hurt.
Yeah, because he was huge. He scored 2 goals.
It might have been 4-2, right?
4-2. He scored 2.
I know Milan had a red card, I believe, but still. They handled them like that. I don't think this Milan team is totally different from the one that started the first couple weeks of the season. So I think Napoli ultimately has the better shot of getting second place than Roma does. But it starts this week against Sassuolo. Have to pick up a win.
And I'm looking at these next games. After
go ahead, give the rundown for the rest of the season.
Real quick. After Sassuolo and Inter away, we're at the San Siro. So
that's very difficult.
Not easy at all. So
I would hope for a draw.
I just noticed 2 away matches in a row. So, I mean, we've
Very
been pretty
difficult.
good. I mean, obviously we're
Hope
better
for
at
4
home, but
points.
at least 4. And then we have Cagliari at home, which shouldn't be too much of a problem.
No, you should beat them.
Torino at Turin, which is not that
hard.
Easy of a game.
Belotti's really good.
Belotti's on fire.
I'd be worried about him if I
and
were
we
you.
have
if I were Napoli.
somewhat of a crappy defense. I know we do. So
It's not as good as last year. I thought last
Absolutely
year
not.
performed better.
And then after that, the last 2 games are Napoli, Fiorentina. We're home, which is a good advantage. Fiorentina's in 8th place, but not the same team.
I think that's another chap game too.
But yes, and we tied them 3-3 earlier this year. Not to forget that.
I
as
think
well.
you'll still beat them.
So and then the last game we're away at Sampdoria. So it's not that easy
No,
going
it's
down
not.
the road.
No.
We have at least 3
Difficult
of these next
fixtures.
6 games are difficult fixtures. And it'll be tough, but if Napoli wants to win and they think they're deserved of second place, then they have to win.
But you got to remember, Napoli didn't have Milik
Yeah, we
on those games. Because this is the final stretch. Milik was out with a torn ACL for 6 months. For some reason, I'll never understand how soccer players come back from 6 months from an ACL.
Yeah, and
So
he was actually
incredible.
training within 3. He just didn't play.
It's incredible, which is incredible.
So,
I want to know what their surgeries are like over there. And they come back fit, too. So
yeah,
it's interesting to see. I think Roma, there's something about Roma that they always slip up. I mean, there's the rumors of Spalletti, too, about to go coach Inter.
About
Apparently,
leaving,
he was spotted in Milan. I don't know if you read anything on that.
I did see some.
I saw something like that.
It's kind of weird, honestly. It's a little awkward.
It's weird.
But
I mean, but this is Roma. I think there's more dysfunction than any top club besides Inter right now, because even De Rossi too. There's talks that he might not even renew. I mean,
yeah,
I bet it'll happen
too. So.
I'm sure it'll happen, or even go to a club and maybe even Chelsea with Conte. Because there is no way I see him going to another Italian club.
He's actually
not
I think
a
he's
chance.
Roman born too. That's his.
Yeah,
home
no,
club,
him
so.
and Totti are the same.
Yeah. There's no way.
There's no way I can see that happening. He's a one club man. I think he's going to stay that way. If not, he goes to MLS or play for Conte at Chelsea. But it's definitely going to be an awesome race to finish off.
Yeah,
the
if
season.
you want real quick, the Roma
Roma's
games
game? Yes,
after Pescara, the last 5 for them.
Yeah.
A Roma Lazio tough game.
Yes,
and it's
very tough.
and that's a derby.
Yeah.
Milan Roma. And Roma
Tough.
Juve, 3 back-to-back for them.
That's more difficult than Napoli.
That's a lot. Even though we have 3 difficult fixtures, they're broken
are
up.
they in Torino for Juve?
No,
home?
they're at Roma. They're at home.
It's still Juve.
It's still Juve though.
Okay.
And I don't think Juve's gonna want to let up. You know what I'm saying?
Who knows? It depends on today's result in the
That's
Champions League.
And then their last 2, are Chievo, Roma, but Chievo at Verona, which is usually it could be a trap game.
I could see a draw if anything.
Yeah, and then Roma Genoa, and they should win that. But
okay.
At least both Napoli and Roma have 3 hard
difficult games, but
and Roma
I
actually
think
have them back
that's
to back
a gauntlet. That's a gauntlet for Roma to go derby at San Siro and then Juve back at home. 3 very difficult games. All 3 teams are no slouches. There's a good chance that all 3 teams that will make Europe, all those teams, I think it's a guarantee. Obviously, guarantee Juve. Looking like Lazio.
And that's why I'm as a Napoli fan, being biased real quick, I'm very glad that Milan is tightened up and in the race for Europe, because that means that when they do go to the San Siro, it's not a broken down Milan side. They're going to want to win
difficult
to get that
if
3 points.
Milan has at least 60,000 fans in there, because San Siro holds around like 80. If there's 60,000 fans in it, that is, in my opinion, when San Siro is sold out, that might be the most difficult place to play. When it's a good Milan or Inter team, that might be the most difficult place to play, considering they always sell it out. If Napoli could sell out, if Roma can sell out, and Juve doesn't have as many fans capacity-wise,
their stadium is
they're like
still
30
loud,
something.
but
They're still loud. I mean, in terms of just atmosphere, it might be the most difficult place to play in the
it's
league.
a legendary atmosphere.
It is, and I don't want to sound biased. This is just
you're coming from a Napoli fan. Milan is a legendary
I don't
club.
ever want to take anything away. I think it's just important for people to realize how big of a deal it is if Milan and Inter return to what they used to be.
Absolutely.
Because even half of what they used to be is a really big deal. I mean, and it's great for the league, because this is the best Napoli and Roma have been in years too, and even Juve. The best they've been in 10 years. This is one of the better Juve
one of the best
teams.
Squads, yeah. Even if they might not show it, they're
honestly,
one of the best Juve squads.
In my opinion, in Europe-wise, this Juve team is just as good as 14 years ago when they went to Champions League final, and when they had Nedved and Trezeguet, and Buffon was obviously still in goal, like Del Piero. they're right there with them. I think they're not too far off, especially with the young talent they've signed and how much better they've gotten. So it's going to be an awesome last few weeks. We're going to have you have updates, reviews of matches, more transfer news too
as well. So
it's going to be great. Any last thoughts on the
I'm
week?
just excited as a genuine Serie A fan. I watch Serie A lot more than any other league. Pretty much this is only the league I watch. I watch Champions League. I don't really watch La Liga or Bundesliga, the Premier League. It's very exciting, and it's even though I'm disappointed that Juve again is out in front by 10 points. From Napoli, but whatever, 6 points from Roma, whatever it is, 8 points. It's still just great, and to see even the sale of Milan and to see Inter hopefully turn out okay. Obviously low key we're happy that they're struggling for our sake, but for the good of the league, I'm excited that it's tightening up right now, and we'll have a really good finish.
Because it's always better to beat teams when they're at their best and not when they're low.
And I hope people watch, because with all the comments,
they'd
be excited too if they're a genuine soccer fan.
We're big Serie A advocates, calcio, whatever the hell you want to call it. It doesn't matter to us. But that'll wrap it up for this episode. That was your Serie A recap preview for the next coming week of April 19th. We are here on this Wednesday. So we'll talk to you next time. Martino Puccio, Gio Cozzolino. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.